Pokemon Horizons is really starting to heat up because everyone, and I mean everyone, is coming to throw down in the Galar region for the series' first arc finale. I'm talking about the new admins, Amiphio on his own, the Rising Volt tacklers, all here to get one thing, and that's the pendant, aka Terapagos. So let's jump right into everything. Starting us off, we have episode 23, Burning Galar Fire, which aired today in Japan. Continuing off last week's episode's cliffhanger, with Fried and Amiphio being trapped in the Galar mines with Galarian Moltres, we see that Liko and Roy's Pokemon are all healed up alongside Captain Pikachu. Hey, who's that? Yeah, Fried's perfectly fine too. It's not like the entrance to the Galar mines was just suddenly cut off or anything. Guys, I'll get back to all of this later. While our heroes think of a plan to take down Moltres, Fuecoco and Rattrel start their usual arguments, which coincidentally leads to everyone figuring out a plan to calm down Moltres. Sprigatito's sent, which was able to calm down Fuecoco and Rattrel. With this new plan now established, the gang head back to the Galar mines to face Moltres once again. After a hard fight, with multiple failed attempts to get the plan to work, everyone works together with the help of Titan Bolivia 2 in finally executing the plan, using Sprigatito's Scent at full power, calming down Moltres. With Moltres calmed down, shockingly, Liko's pendant summons Terapagos, who seems to know Moltres. This reunion then causes Moltres to create an illusion, suddenly revealing to us the ancient adventurer Lucius from Roy's stories and Liko's dad's book, which confirms that Moltres is, yes, another one of the ancient Pokemon, like Titan Bolivia. Once the illusion fades away, Moltres returns to its ancient Pokeball, meaning that Liko now has a Moltres, which is very cool, I guess. The pendant disappears and everyone looks around for it, to crazily find out that Terapagos has now decided to stay out in the open in its normal form, which I'm sure nobody saw coming. They leave the mines whilst running into Kabu, who heard about the Galar mines incident. Kabu, funnily enough, notices something moving in Fried's coat, but our heroes manage to leave without too much suspicion, which was very funny. And whilst the gang run into the sunset, big plot twist. My boy Amiphio and the explorers were watching them this whole time. Amiphio tells his team that he's going solo now, defying the rest of the explorers' orders, because he will get his hands on the pendant, with or without his team, ultimately proving why Amiphio is him. Now, this episode was okay, but I have some major issues with it. Can someone please tell me what was the point of having that whole dramatic scene of Fried and Amiphio being trapped in the Galar mines together with Moltres? Like, 1 minute Fried's like, go on Liko and Roy, be safe, I'll be fine, even though it seemed like he won't be fine, and then at the start of the episode, bro comes into the Pokemon Center unharmed, like nothing even happened. Remember, the Galar mines entrance was literally caved in, and they emphasized that at the end of episode 22. The star of today's episode literally killed all tension that was beautifully created by the last episode. We also missed the perfect opportunity to see a moment of Amiphio and Fried being forced into a situation where they have to work together, which everyone in the community was so hyped to see, and they just like skipped the whole segment of them being trapped. Like, Horizons, come on. Regardless, I guess, there was many crazy reveals in today's episode that did make up for the poor writing of this, because it's perfectly segued us into the big climax of the first arc of Horizons, Liko and Roy's departure. So now is time for what everyone is hyped about, and that's the finale arc trailer. Bro, this got me hyped, and I'm sure if you weren't hyped for this already, after seeing it, you are bound to be excited for the finale arc episodes, because like I said already, everyone's come out to play. The trailer opens up with Liko, Roy and Fried walking through a stone structure, then quickly cuts to a high angle shot of a Blipbug watching them walk, which further confirms that yes, we are in Galar. Next, we see the big destination of where all of these events will take place, and that's Liko's grandmother's home. Her name is Diana, and she lives in a huge castle. Diana's whole concept and design is definitely taking inspiration from the late Princess Diana, who of course was from England, and of course Galar is based off England, you get what I'm saying? It's cool to finally see Diana in the flesh without anything trying to hide her true identity. But yeah, she definitely resembles her granddaughter Liko and her daughter Luca a lot. We then see the gang meet Diana's partner Pokemon, which in fact is an Arcanine, and we saw it appear in episode 3. After this, we see some flashback shots of Diana with Arcanine and a Squawkabilly, looking at some mountains. I assume she might be explaining to our heroes the kind of adventures she goes on. This yellow Squawkabilly is definitely Liko's mother's one from episode 12, in which it left at the end of the episode, giving Fried a clue that Diana was at a castle in Gala. The flashbacks continue as we see a young Diana reading the story of the ancient adventurer as a young child. It is also revealed that she had the pendant too at this age. No way, she looks exactly like Liko, just with different bangs. The flashbacks then come to an end and we see Liko and Roy in Diana's house. Diana is holding an ancient Pokeball, Roy is holding the story of the ancient adventurer book given by Liko's dad, and Terapagos is just enjoying life outside, casually on the sofa. By the way that Diana is looking at the Pokeball, it does suggest to me that she might not know all of the answers to the ancient Pokeballs and the exact relation between Terapagos and the ancient adventurer. Anyways, after some cute shots of Terapagos, we cut to the bad guys. In the Explorer's headquarters, we see Hamber the butler listening to Gibeon's orders about the pendant. For those who don't know, Gibeon is the boss of the Explorers, and he created them solely to fulfill his wishes in capturing the pendant. Without wasting time, we see my boy Amifio flying on his Corviknight through the night sky. And man, the animation looks exactly the same as it was in episode 1 and 2, which really started the series off with a bang. Amifio speaks out to Fried, who jumps off the castle like a bad man and summons his Charizard to fight. Amifio also has called out his Ace Ceruledge to the battle, and bro, Charizard's getting smoked out of the sky by Beerblade. With this being the finale to the first arc, I think it's very fair to say that this is where it all ends. Amifio versus Fried. Only one person will be declared a winner, and I strongly believe that Fried will be the one to come out on top, defeating Amifio as the first admin. Even though personally, I would love Amifio to win. But that's not to say that our protagonists won't be getting in on the action, because it looks like Liko and Roy will be battling alongside their partners Sprigatito and Fuecoco. Fuecoco is seen using its move Stomping Tantrum, and Sprigatito using full power Leafage, which we saw in episode 2 versus the Explorers. Well, speak of the devil, because it looks like Liko and Roy will be up against a very high level opponent, and that is, yes, Admin Sango. Seeing her design in full, she looks very cool. And if you notice carefully, you'll actually see that she's riding on a Glalie, which might suggest that she's an ice type training, which is something I wouldn't expect because of her color scheme. I was seeing more of a fairy type, but I guess I was clearly off. Now, do I think Liko and Roy can defeat her? With it being so early on in the series, I'm 50-50 on this one. Our heroes definitely have gained enough experience to defeat a trainer like Sango together, but I feel like she might hold back in this battle or not really take it seriously. Nevertheless, regardless of all of those points, if what I think happens, then yeah. We ain't seeing a win from Liko and Roy here, because in the next scene, we see the second admin, Onyx, who's also come out to play. This man is built huge, and seeing his design in full is very clean. I'm totally getting Ganondorf vibes from him. Onyx's partner is a Garganacl, which makes its first debut in the anime. Him having this Pokemon is much expected, because I don't know why, but it feels obvious that he was going to have a rock or ground type Pokemon. If Onyx does battle alongside Sango, then yeah, it's over for Liko and Roy, as we're literally in the beginning of the series, so due to experience and strength wise, they most definitely will lose. The trailer immediately cuts to a massive explosion from the middle of the castle, maybe due to a clash between Fried and Amifio, because I don't think Liko and Roy's Pokemon have the power to deal damage like that, which shifts our focus to another area of the castle, where we actually see Butler Hamber has finally set foot on the scene, because his partner Pokemon is a Dusknoir, and you can already tell he's not playing around. For all we know, this man could be stronger than all of the other admins, but his opponent is none other than Diana, who seems to be trying to escape on her Arcanine. You're probably wondering, why would Diana be trying to escape when we can assume that she's also a strong battler who can defend for herself? Well, If you look at what she's carrying around her shoulder, you'll see a bag. Do you see what I'm trying to say here? Yep, I think it's very obvious that Terapagos is inside Diana's bag, because we all know that it's decided to stay outside of its pendant form, as well as the fact that Freed has already tried to hide Terapagos from Kabu using his coat, so in this situation, it wouldn't be so random that a bag would be clearly carrying a Terapagos. The bag is also clearly big enough to keep a Terapagos. So yeah, if my prediction's right, it all makes sense as to why Diana would be trying to get away. I can also see that a plan was made that Liko, Roy and Freed all play the role of decoys, while Diana is the one who gets away. But it seems like everything hasn't gone to plan, as somehow Hamba was expecting it. Pretty much, this confrontation really could go either way. The trailer ends with one amazingly animated shot of Cap running on the side of the castle, charging up to unleash a devastating Volt Tackle, which once again reminds me of the excellent animation from episode 1 and 2. We really are in for a treat with this finale. So many unexplained mysteries and answers will be given to us in this finale, and I can't wait to meet Diana and see where all of this goes down. Because, as we all know, Horizons will most definitely deliver, even if it does have its odd moments. Whatever does go down here, if Amethio beats Freed and grabs the pendant, Luke and Roy defeats Sango and Onyx, Diana saves the pendant or loses it, whatever the outcome ultimately is, it is most definitely going to have a huge impact on the next arc to come, which is confirmed to be called Terapagos Shining. Pokemon Horizons is now on a 2-week break and will return on October 13th, so everyone make sure you're ready. I am very curious to know what are your thoughts on today's episode 23, and the big finale trailer. What are your predictions, outcomes, and theories for how all of it will go down in the Gala region? I would love to know. But with all of that said, I'll catch all of you next time.